I'm not going to lie to you, it's 2 a.m. and I'm rather tired, but I said I would make a video and I planned on making one, so here we are. And, well, if you take pity on me for being tired, which you shouldn't, I'm not saying you should, if you could drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. I mean, even if you don't take pity, it's free. I make content like this every single day, and it would be much appreciated. Let's talk about some rookies that are proving people wrong, because is there anything better than rookies or just players in general proving people wrong? I'm sorry, you've caught me. This is something that I love about the NBA and sports in general. It's players that get written off after how many games? No games? After they get drafted? After 7 games? After 1 game? It doesn't matter. There's always a mass of people who are quick to write off players because they don't like the style of their haircut. They don't like the way they move. They don't like the way their jump shot is. They just don't like them. Or maybe because they want to be the first person to say, oh, I called him a bust. I was right. Yeah, there's always those kind of people. So is there anything more satisfying than seeing those people just sit there and think, I was wrong, which they're never going to admit because those are the kind of people that don't think they're ever wrong, but it's still good to see. And there's been several players already this season prove a lot of people wrong. And we're going to start with one who I think proved the most people wrong in the shortest period of time possible. That's Patrick Williams. Coming out of the draft, the 4th overall pick, Patrick Williams was getting ridiculed before he played a game. This was unfathomable to me. Someone who doesn't watch much college basketball, I don't care if you watch college basketball, if you don't, to criticize someone before they step foot on the court makes no sense to me, particularly when you hadn't seen him in several months, and most of the people doing the criticizing saw like 2 games of him, probably watched a mixtape, and saw that a mock draft had him at 8 instead of 4 and thought, it's a bad pick. Why did the Bulls do this? It was that simple. And since then, well, it took 1 preseason game for people to realize this guy might have been picked at number 4 for a reason. Maybe these guys have an NBA job as scouts and as general managers, and I don't for a reason. That's possible. I'm not saying all NBA general managers are good and deserve a job, and I'm sure there's someone out there that could do a better job, but not all of you. And, well, Patrick Williams proved that because there was a reason he was drafted at number 4 in the NBA. Just looking at what he's been able to do in his first year in Chicago, I mean, it's been great. He's shown arguably the highest upside of any rookie player in the class outside of LaMelo Ball, and I wouldn't be surprised if he was the best player out of this draft class. He looks that good. At the very least, he's shown that he can guard a number of different positions and a number of different players. He's taken on tough assignments all season long. Kawhi Leonard, Zion Williamson, smaller guys. He's switched onto a number of different people. He's taken on tough assignments night in, night out, and he's done a pretty good job. I mean, as good a job as you'd expect from a rookie going up against Kawhi Leonard and Zion Williamson. So he's done a pretty good job, and he's shown his defensive versatility. And when you consider what the Chicago Bulls currently have in Zach LaVine, one of the best scorers, you added Nikola Vucevic, again, one of the better offensive players in the league, and that tandem, we're already seeing what they can do. Recently, they've gone on a little bit of a run, but that tandem in general, offensively, there's not too many questions about the team if you have those 2 players, and then you can just fill in the gaps with pretty much anyone that can spot up and shoot and do a few other things, because those guys are going to give you 50 points a night. It's that simple. They're offensively great. So you add in Patrick Williams, who defensively has the versatility. He's already a solid NBA defender. Obviously, you're going to want him to be better than that, and seeing as he's a rookie, I would expect him to be better than that going forward, but he's got one of the better work ethics that everyone has raved about. Coming out of the draft, there was a reason why teams wanted to move up in the draft. The Detroit Pistons, I believe, wanted to move up in the draft to get Patrick Williams. There was a reason why the Chicago Bulls took him at number 4. It's because a lot of teams loved his attitude. They loved what he was saying in the pre-drafts, the combine. They loved what he was doing outside of just his on-the-court performances, and his on-the-court performances have been good. But when you consider his attitude as well, then his potential might be higher than we just see from his on-the-court play, if you get what I'm saying. But that's just defensively. I mean, offensively, he's no slouch at all. He's shown an ability to step into pull-up mid-range shots. He's taking the 3rd most mid-range jumpers a game on average amongst rookies, and shooting them at 40%, which is relatively impressive, but is much more impressive when you consider a lot of these are pull-up shots, where he's shooting over 44% on average on over 2 pull-up twos a game, which is very impressive. It also shows that he's got an ability to shoot from not just the mid-range spot, but also that little in-between spot, which is obviously a lovely thing to have, that floater. He's got a soft touch, which you think when you translate a good free throw shooter, a good pull-up mid-range shooter, someone who can shoot floaters, he's going to eventually be a pretty consistent three-point shooter, in my opinion. He's already shooting nearly 40% on minimal attempts. He's going to be someone that as he grows bigger, as he becomes more able to move defenders and use his handle and his swiftness to get to the rim, he's going to cause a lot of problems on the offensive end of the floor. If you combine his work ethic and just his ability, I mean, how do you go wrong with this guy? He's been fantastic. Now, moving on from Patrick Williams, someone who wasn't criticized before he stepped on the floor. He had the luxury, this was Killian Hayes, he had the luxury of having all of 7 games, no summer league, barely any time with the team, a few weeks, thrusted into the starting point guard spot. That's a great situation for someone to be productive, is it not? No, it's not. That's a joke. Like, there's a reason LaMelo Ball was coming off the bench. So there's a reason why Killian Hayes struggled in his first 7 games. He then proceeded to get injured, and he then proceeded to get called a bust by a lot of people. Pistons fans, non-Pistons fans, NBA fans, your neighbor, your uncle, your cousin, I don't know, but someone you know probably called Killian Hayes a bust. Maybe it was you. If it was you, like, come on. You already knew this was going to happen. Killian Hayes, like, he's too smooth. He's French. It's Killian Hayes. He was always going to be good. And after coming back from a serious hip injury where he missed 3 months, his first game back against the Knicks, he showed enough signs. The numbers weren't there, but I saw enough. And then since then, in the 2 games, he's averaging 10 points a game, 5 assists, shooting over 50% from the field. He's shown his ability to defend as well. He's no slouch defensively. I just talked about Patrick Williams. If you want to talk about one of the better defensive guards in the NBA at the rookie spot, Killian Hayes. Dwayne Casey said he's above the defensive curve as a rookie, which is exactly what I've been able to see. So yes, Dwayne, I do tend to agree with you. And then offensively, he's coming along as well. He's gaining more confidence and he's shown an insane passing ability. I'm going to be honest, he's shown a passing ability that is pretty rare. I know. I'm going out on a limb, but I'm just saying he looks like a fantastic passer. So offensively, his scoring still has some ways to go, but as a passer and as a defender, he already looks well ahead of the curve of a lot of other rookies. And well, to call him a bust after 7 games and a hip injury might have been a bit premature. For people in the media that I was listening to saying, oh, this Killian Hayes isn't very good, is he? Maybe give him some time. Just a thought. Let's just throw that out there. I know it's a crazy thing, but since he's had some time to recover and come back from an injury, he's looked really good. Oh, there's more? Yeah, this is a little kind of fun one to throw in because someone who you wouldn't have thought was getting bust talk because he's pretty much been good since the day he stepped on an NBA court, LaMelo Ball. Anyways, he didn't really get that talk, but people were criticizing him. They were saying, oh, he's not going to be able to shoot. He's not going to be able to translate at the NBA level because his first NBA game, he scored a whopping 0 points. His first NBA game, LaMelo Ball, one of the better rookies in recent memory, scored 0 points. So if that's not a good enough reminder to you to not criticize someone after their first 1 or 2 games, maybe their first 7, 10 games, 15 games, because after all, they are rookies, they are young, so give them a little bit of a chance. But if that's not a good reason to say, how about we just settle down a bit? LaMelo Ball going from someone who was criticized after game 1 to being one of the better rookies we've seen in a long time, and going from someone that people thought wouldn't be able to shoot to someone who's shooting nearly 38% on the season on multiple attempts a game. And I think it's also worth noting, you've got the likes of James Wiseman, who's currently copping a lot of heat. Some of these guys have made it through the other end. They've made it through the dark stage, and all of a sudden, they're getting nothing but praise. Patrick Williams, LaMelo Ball. Killian Hayes, not quite through yet, but he's getting a lot more praise. Recently, James Wiseman, I've seen get a lot of hate. And let's just give some context. I mean, he's someone who basically didn't play basketball in damn near 2 years. Competitive basketball, should I say. He comes into a Warriors system, which isn't exactly suited to his strengths. They just started playing more pick and roll recently, but in general, they haven't played a lot. He's not allowed to do what he does best, which is run to the rim, roll to the rim. The offense is a train wreck with Steph off the floor. It's absolutely terrible, and at times he's not playing with Steph. So there's just a lot of reasons for why he wouldn't have a great season, and he's not having the best season. He's still showing potential, but people want to see more, and I think that just has a lot to do with the fact that Steph Curry is in his 30s and he's having an unbelievable season. If Wiseman was on a Warriors team that didn't have a Steph Curry, then I'm sure Warriors fans and just fans in general would probably be a lot easier on him. So I think that's more situational, but still, you got to give him time. I know Steph Curry is amazing, and we'd love to see James Wiseman be good right now just to help him out. Please get him some help, but unfortunately, you can't just do that. It's not going to happen. Someone like Aleksej Pokusevski is a good example of giving some patience to rookies as well. There's so many examples, but Pokusevski, I mean, he was looking like someone that wouldn't belong in your Sunday league, your Division 2 Sunday league down at the local gym, and now he's looking like one of the better rookies in the league over the last 6 or 7 games on a Thunder team that's been getting blown out routinely. He's shooting the 3 ball, he's handling the ball, he's playmaking, he's doing everything right. He's looking like a Bitcoin nerd in press conferences. He didn't look fantastic just 10 games ago. He'll probably not look fantastic at some point over a 5-game stretch going forward as well, because that's going to happen. But we've already seen enough from his potential to suggest there's a reason they picked him in the first round, which some people didn't see early on. It's just an example of another player that has shown what happens when you give someone an extended run of time, and once they gain some confidence and some rhythm at the NBA level, which everyone needs a chance to do. Ultimately, this video is just a combination of saying, going forward, which I have no say on this because everyone is going to continue to do it, but maybe think before you write off someone that you don't know a ton about, or you haven't seen a ton of, or you haven't had a chance to see them at their NBA team, or just given them enough chance. You get the point. Don't write them off so early. And also, just to shine some light on some guys that have been having good seasons. I've talked about Poku. I wanted to talk about Wiseman because, like I said, I think the situation isn't fantastic for him right now. There's a high-pressure environment for a rookie who hadn't played in a long time and is playing in a system that isn't exactly suited to his strengths. Then you look at Killian Hayes, who after an injury has come back and looked fantastic. Patrick Williams was criticized for being drafted. He was just criticized for being drafted, not anything else. And he's come in and looked like one of the best and most promising rookies in the NBA. So who's next? I mean, there's probably other players that I didn't even mention, but this is just examples of players that have shown what can happen when you give them some time and you just give them a little bit of patience. Just a little bit of patience. Maybe consider that going forward, because maybe Cade Cunningham doesn't come out and average 35 points a game. And don't get too disappointed. Anyways, my camera's dead. If you did enjoy the video, a like would be greatly appreciated. Have a great day. I'll catch you next time. Bye.